Hey guys, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel today. In today's video, we do have an exciting video planned. I was super excited to receive the Sydney Grace and Temptalia palette trio in PR this morning. I really did not expect this. I'm gonna be totally honest, it was a very shell-shocked moment when I saw these in my mailbox. Thank you so much to Sydney Grace for the opportunity to review these earlier than launch date. I do appreciate that. This is going to be a first impressions and overall overview on the palettes and what to expect, swatches, basically everything you need to know in order to make a good decision on whether or not you want to purchase these on launch date or not. As you can see, I went very bold today because I really felt like doing a colorful, bold, galaxy sort of look. Definitely something that is out of my comfort zone, of course, but I do think that the look turned out great. So let's get started. I am so excited to dive into these palettes. There are 3 of them to choose from, and I'm going to be talking about them before I apply them to my eye a little bit. First of all, I'm going to be priming my eye with the Smashbox 24-hour primer. I just love how it doesn't have, it has very, very light coverage when it comes to covering veins or anything like that, but it smooths everything out and moisturizes the area really nice, and then it sets with like a semi-matte finish. So it does do a good job of actually increasing the pigmentation of your shadows when you apply them to the eye. They just seem to be more magnified, more dramatic compared to without. Just keeps everything nice and fresh on the lid here so that your shadow looks like you freshly applied it all day. When it comes to ordering from Sydney Grace, I have had some questions about if they charge duties and taxes. Unfortunately, I haven't done a purchase yet. I've had PR a couple of times from the brand, and of course with PR, sometimes I get slammed with duties, mostly I don't. So when it comes to this particular product, because they're made in the USA, I'm going to safely assume that if you do get duties, they're not going to be too bad. If it is a foreign-made product like Italy, or, you know, Europe of any kind, like when you get Natasha Denona products straight from her website, you definitely get slammed with duties and it is not pretty. So I'm thinking my best guess is that they should be minimal to nothing with regards to Sydney Grace. This is a 3 palette collaboration with the blogger Temptalia. Temptalia has been around so long when it comes to reviewing makeup. She, in my opinion, is kind of like the gold standard of makeup reviewers. And I actually don't know her personally, and I regrettably don't know too much about, like, I guess her personally, because like outside of her reviews. This is a really cool, like, galactic, cosmic, like, outer packaging. You can see that there's like, it's like space and that kind of thing. And I wonder if that's just speaking to her and her personal likes as an individual. I wish I could tell you. So if you do know the kind of the origin behind this packaging style, please let me know down below because I would love to know. But all 3 of them, when you actually tower them together, if you do buy all 3, they're going to be 100 American dollars for the set, or 40 per palette. And if you do buy the set, then they layer together to make this really beautiful picture. And it sort of is like galaxy, you know, like it's very astronomical, if that's a word. So I'm thinking that might be speaking to her personal taste. What I will say is there's a really cute dog on this package. It's right here and it's so faint. You can see him right there. And because I'm a dog person, this absolutely speaks to my heart. The fact that he's the one looking into the lake there, over the galaxy, like it sort of looks like the Milky Way or something like that, you know? The only other Sydney Grace experience that I do have is actually from my friend Mel Thompson and their collaboration. And the mattes were super creamy, the shimmers are super creamy, they have such a pigment impact, and this is a brand absolutely that does make some amazing formulas. The first palette is called Coincidence. It's described as a celestial fantasy through a constellation of vivid tones and otherworldly finishes. It is inspired by all things space, the twinkling of the stars, the dreams of nebulae on an endless journey through the galaxies and beyond. So Quintessence is the first one here. There are 4 mattes, and then when it comes to the shimmers in this palette, there are 8 shimmers, but they vary between having like pearly sheen finishes to metallic finishes. So there's quite a variety of shimmer shades in this palette as well. The next one is On the Horizon. It says, come back down to Earth from a voyage through space with grounded, grungy neutrals that are intertwined with murmurs of color, designed to inspire and complement your favorite neutral palettes. So Here we have this one. This one too has 4 mattes, and then with regards to the remaining 8 shades in this palette, we do also have some varying finishes. So metallic finishes, traditional shimmer finishes, we also have some pearly sheens in this one as well. The last one in this trio is called Radiant Reflection. So according to the PR slip, it says, take a moment to reflect on the faceted nature of each of us as individuals and what lies beneath the surface to discover a rainbow of luxurious jewel tones just waiting to be explored. So this one we have 3 mattes in here, and then with regards to the rest of the 8 shades, some pearl finishes as well as some metallic finishes. So quite the variety in each of the 3 palettes. So it's kind of nice because even if you don't want to get all 3 of them, you just want to get one, there's quite a variety of formulations in each one, in my opinion, to really give you an opportunity to really play with different formulas and increase the versatility of each palette. Our eye primer is pretty well set now, so let's see which palette I should dip into today. Now this is definitely a first impression. There are quite a few shadows, like I said, 12 by 3 to test. So this is certainly not going to be a full in-depth review video yet, but I'll of course update you guys in a follow-up once I'm able to test every single shade out. I kind of want to go a little bit out of the box here. You guys know I really love browns, golds, pinks, and I kind of stay safe with that. Maybe like a really beautiful shimmery teal green look today. I'm feeling it, so I think I might take advantage. Let's try Parallax. Parallax is right down here. So we've got this palette to test, and this is a lot of beautiful gray tones in here as well. Parallax is right by my thumb, so you can see right there. I'm going to start off with this shade. I'm going to use a large shader brush. This is the 201 from BK Beauty. And let's try it out because I actually do have some experience with some Sydney Gray shadows, and they're very, very nice to work with. Very nice and smooth, easily blends out. This is definitely what I've come to expect though. And this one is slightly like gray, cooler toned compared to my natural skin tone. So you can see it's there, but it's not like super different when it comes to shade color, which is what I'm wanting, right? Because I do want that color of the tealy green to really pop. And I just want to try the matte formulation in this palette, get a good idea of if the mattes are consistent with other Sydney Grace experiences. At first I was kind of like, is this tone gonna make me look a little dead? Like, I'll be honest, because it is quite like a light gray, kind of beigey gray. It actually looks gorgeous. Sometimes you just have to apply them to the eye because when you're stuck in your comfort zone like me, which is a lot of browns and a lot of golds, and you know, we all have our crutches of which types of shades we gravitate towards. This is challenging me a little bit, but in a good way. Maybe I'll try Galactic. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, try the 206 from BK Beauty. I wonder how it's gonna go. I'm gonna swatch it first so you guys can see what I'm talking about. That is so pretty. And normally I'm not always in a mood to go this bold, but look at that. So let's just see what type of brush will be good for this one. Once again, 206 from BK Beauty. It's looking so, so pretty. No fallout yet either, which is awesome. This is just applying so nice, you guys. This is absolutely the same experience that I had with Mel's palette. They're just blending out so well. And I've been told that like green tends to bring out brown eyes. So let's see how it looks at the end of the day. I just really feel like I have a lot of control with this one. It's not like I'm scared to work too quickly because it's setting or anything like that. It is doing a great job. And I think that if you are a beginner with this palette, it's going to look stunning on you too. So this is definitely a lot bolder than I'm used to doing, but I'm not mad at it. There is a teeny bit of fallout under this eye. This one, not as much. So a little bit, nothing crazy, just to expect when it comes to some of the shimmers. Here is another shade in the palette. It's called Sirius Spotlight, or Sirius Spotlight. That was just the tiniest swatch of that because this one is also super pigmented. I do want to add a little bit of that silver and really blend it out like that. So just adding a little bit of that silver with my finger. I literally dabbed it the tiniest amount and pulling it into the center of the eye. So it does add a little bit of something there. Switching fingers because I do have some of that pigment from before to the other lid here. Because I love the shimmer, I also want to add, which I'm probably going to missay, this is the Milky Way? Milky? Is that like her last name or something? Or like Milky? I know it's supposed to be Melky, like a play on words, but I wish I knew more about Temptalia as a person, because this is probably very, very close to her when it comes to, you know, designing a palette and stuff. Look at this beautiful, almost unicorn shade. It goes from purple, silvery, a little bit of like a greeny yellow pull. Like this is really, really beautiful. So I think I might add this too. So this is the Milky Way. I'm gonna stop here after that because my lids are looking quite foiled. I'm also gonna add a little bit of depth, and we'll clean this up as well too. Adding a little bit of depth with Interstellar on the top row in the far right. And I'm just adding a little bit with a small Wayne Goss number 19 brush. This is hella pigmented, you guys. Tiniest tap, and you'll get what you're looking for. So as you can see, this is adding just a little bit of depth just in the corner. I do want a little bit more dimension, so I'm adding a touch of Umbra. Umbra is a black matte. With working with black mattes, you want to go very, very light at the beginning, because if you go too heavy, this could be a surefire way of messing everything up. So start at the base of the eyelid there, blending upward. You honestly don't need much to add that nice smoky dimension that you're looking for. I will be cleaning this up. I'm just looking in my small mirror here, and there's definitely some underneath the eye a little bit. It has to probably do with how many shimmers I've applied over each other. Most likely if you keep it to one, it's going to be not as much fallout, but there definitely is some along here and along here. Otherwise, this is like stunning, you guys. Like this is, as you know, very bold for me. But just finishing up the look, and then I'll be back with final thoughts. All right, friends, we are back. Everything is done, the rest of my face, and I'm actually really loving this bold look today. I do think that greens kind of accentuate brown eyes, and this bluey green, Tiffany blue, shimmery moment is super pretty. So, like I said, I do think that this formulation so far, first impression, is consistent with the other Sydney Grace experience I had, which is with the Mel Thompson collaboration. It is the Tiny Marbles palette. That is one that does have the same very creamy mattes, easy to blend, easy to build. The shimmers as well. It just depends on which type of shade you have when it comes to the shimmer. There's some that are going to be a little bit less of a chance of fallout because they're just not as heavy. So the Galactic Muse that I use today, it's just a heavier shimmer compared to, for instance, the Milky Way, which is one that was the topper. It kind of had that beautiful purple duochrome shift that I applied lightly on top. That one's not quite as heavy, so I didn't see as much fall as I did with the Galactic Muse shade, but that's also an experience similar to some of the shimmers in Tiny Marbles. So I personally think so far so good with this collaboration. Pigmentation is there, but most importantly, user friendliness is 5 out of 5. Price point is great. $40 USD for one, $100 for all three. There's a light or a deep version. I think she's really thought these through, and that's what I really love. Very excited to keep testing the rest of these shadows. Do let me know your thoughts. Is this on your wish list? Are you super pumped? Congratulations to Temptalia for this collaboration, and thank you once again for the brand for sending me these in PR. I really do appreciate that. If you do have any other questions, do let me know down below. I'd be happy to answer them as best as I can. And until my next one, take care and stay safe. Bye, guys.